One of the arguments against the Prophet Muhammad, and one of the arguments against the validity of the Prophet Muhammad's prophethood, is that the Quran denies the Prophet Muhammad did miracles. And some of the critics of Islam, like the atheists and Christian critics of Islam, say that the Hadith made up the stories of Prophet Muhammad doing miracles. Well, there's two responses to that. One, the Quran does not deny that the Prophet Muhammad can't do miracles. The second point is that the Hadith did not come 200 years later and make stuff up about about the Prophet Muhammad or the early Muslims. The Hadith, uh, there's a really good book called Studies in Hadith Methodology by Mustafa Al Azami, where he talks about the preservation of the Hadith during the time of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. So the Hadith did not come 200 years later; it was actually documented and spread during the earliest during like the first generation, the time of the Prophet Muhammad's companions. So so that claim is false. But I'm not going to be talking about hadith preservation here. Um, Now we need to understand why the Quran denies miracles to certain people, and the answer is in the Quran, chapter 17, verse 59. Now, when I did my debate or discussion or whatever with Sam Shamoon brought this up. He said that the Quran denies that the Prophet Muhammad can't do miracles. Well, he obviously didn't read the context of those passages, because when you read those passages in full, it's not denying that the Prophet Muhammad can't do miracles. It was just the Quran was just denying specific miracles to specific people. Anyways, getting back to my other point, in the Quran, chapter 17, verse 59, it says, they, in the Quran, chapter 17, verse 59, the Quran says, or Allah says, they still won't believe even if the Prophet Muhammad did those miracles. So the context of the Quran chapter 17, I believe the Quran chapter 17 was revealed in Mecca. So, the pagans and, other disbelievers, other non-Muslim disbelievers would ask the Prophet Muhammad for some kind of miracle to confirm his prophethood. And even if the Prophet Muhammad did that miracle, that specific miracle they're asking for, they still wouldn't believe. So the Quran denies specific miracles to people, uh, and by people I mean disbelievers, non-Muslims, non-Muslim disbelievers, whether they're pagan, Christian, Jew, whatever. In the Quran, chapter 17, verse 90 to 93, uh, you know, in the Quran. In the Quran, God does send a sign. In the Quran, chapter 6, verse 124. So basically, another point about this is if you read the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, and chapter 12, it talks about the sign of Jonah. Jesus says, "A wicked and adulterous generation, you Pharisees are." The Pharisees were the Jews of Jesus' time. He says, "No sign shall be given to you except the sign of Jonah." So the Jews were asking Jesus for a sign, and he says, "No, no sign is going to be given to you." And the reason why he's denying the reason why he's denying those signs is not because he can't do those miracles. That's not the point. That's not the point. The reason why Jesus is saying that is because he knows that even if he does whatever they're asking for, they're still not going to believe in him. They're still going to make up excuses. So that's the same argument with the Quran. The Quran is not denying that the Prophet Muhammad can't do miracles. The Quran is saying, yeah, God can send down those miracles, but even if I do those miracles, they're still not going to believe. The problem with the people of Jesus' day and the problem with the people of Muhammad's day wasn't that God couldn't allow the Prophet Muhammad to do miracles, or Jesus couldn't do those miracles. The problem isn't that God or Jesus or Muhammad couldn't perform miracles. The problem is that there's spiritual darkness in disbelievers of Jesus' day, which would mainly be the Pharisees, and disbelievers during Muhammad's day. The disbelievers being the Meccans, the Jews, the Christians, etc., etc. So the problem was the spiritual darkness in the disbelievers. They would not believe even if those specific miracles were sent down to them. So the problem isn't with Jesus. The problem's not with God. The problem's not with Muhammad. The problem is with with the disbelievers. They have a spiritual darkness or a spiritual sickness where they want God to perform miracles for them. They want God to work for them. No, the point is you submit to God. God doesn't submit to your whims.